great to be back in Sweden to see all of my colleagues here with Redken. Very excited about the show.
This is a new haircut that I've created called the Bardot. The DVD launches next month, so you are one of the first to see it. These shapes have 3 steps, 3 simple steps. We're going to be able to create texture through the art of disconnection. You see, disconnection is today's strongest element. Disconnection is what gives us today's movement, today's volume in terms of what we see. Now I'm going to go turn, and I want you to get a square shot of this. And if we can get the square shot of this, we're going to come through. We're going to take all of this section at once. We're going to elevate this section straight up with our hand right up against the head. Now, your probably little voice is going, oh my gosh, that's a lot of hair when I'm so used to taking small sections. Things change, my friends. Things change. And it's become soft because of the degree of elevation. But it's more like taking paper. The more mass of paper we take in a paper cutter and we close the paper moves. So we get a little bit more soft edge. The less paper we take, the more sharper the edge is. Same thing. Paper's a fabric, hair is a fabric.
How did it all start? Tell me.
It started back probably like, I think it's been, I lose track of count. It's probably been about 13, 14 years ago that my journey started with Redken. And very fortunate because my father was a barber and he was always about Redken. So when I became a platform artist, he said, you should go with Redken. And the dream finally happened where I had the opportunity to come on board with Redken.
So we have 4 areas. We have the left side, the right back, the right front, and the left front. Okay, so I take all of this up. Now watch the comb. The shortest degree is going to be in the center. So we're here. We're going to take all of this hair now, and we're going to take all of this hair, and we're going to cut. Let's talk about the degree of elevation. My degree of elevation is vertical straight up. The angle I'm cutting is diagonal from short to long. Now watch as this falls. As it falls, it goes from short to long. That point of length there, we're going to come back and cut our length after I cut the right side. So I'll even out with that degree of shortness that I created here. Now think about this. We're cutting inside out, meaning that what we're doing is we're layering the hair first, graduate the hair first, and then we're coming and taking care of the perimeter edge. What angle am I going to cut? See how I've taken these 2 sections, right from that point of front to back and front to back. All I'm going to do is take them right to center, and I'm going to tip that at the length. Now I have my angle there, and I have my angle there. Now all I'm going to do is elevate straight up and connect the dots. Now watch the guide. There's the guide, and there's the guide. Now I let my white comb lead me to those 2 points of reference, release the comb, and just cut the darn thing.
And I really believe that why I am where I am today is because of Redken. Redken has given me the resources to be a great facilitator, meaning that they've taught me how to facilitate, not to just get up and talk, but how do you teach? And in the world of hair, it's different in the way that we teach. So it's been 14 wonderful years. Now I'm the Education Artistic Director for Redken, which means that I have the responsibility of training a lot of the artists in presentation skills, in stage skills, communication skills, and as well as their skill set in design and in finishing.
As I come around and I release this, look at all the length that we've been able to maintain in the front area. Up, we follow, there's our guide right there, Johnny. Let's take that. Even Johnny's going to be able to do this haircut after we're done. So we're here, we take that, and we move forward, and there's my length. I'm going to work with the iron, and then I'm going to use the round brush, roll, 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 and get the movement and the bevel that I want rather than working with a blow dryer. So it's just a simple way of coming through, coming through, coming through, giving my heat, there. So I want that to bevel. Now we're going to go to step 3. I come through, I take a section, I clamp. There's that guide that I had. You're going to bypass that by, what was the centimeters we decided? It was 2. 4 to 5 centimeters. So I'm going to go to 4 to 5 centimeters, but past that, I'm going to reach for my shear, and now we're going to come in, and we're going to point cut this.
I think a lot of fashion designers look at the kids on the street, they see what the kids are doing, and they take that, maybe they turn it into haute couture, then from haute couture it becomes everyday wear. So we look at the kids on the street, and it's a great source of inspiration.
And then when you look at it, you're looking at this, you're going, wow, that's pretty cool. Got the length there, but notice how this length will fall in her face. I'm going to turn the shear over because I'm going to share with you a texture backstroke technique. I'm going to weave the blunt blade through, close, and backstroke. Open, close, backstroke. Open, close, backstroke. So I've taken the weight out, but I left the length. So what I did was put a diagonal line of texture inside.
When a decade becomes 20 years old, it becomes fashionable again. So now, at this moment, I'm starting to look at the 90s. Seattle became a popular city back home in the States, and everybody started drinking a lot of coffee, and the sound that you heard from Nirvana was quite different, and the way that they were wearing their hair was very undone, very loose, very natural, so you had this kind of grunge feeling. So I really feel that you're going to see grunge come back, but it's going to be a neo-grunge, kind of an ethnic type of grunge that you'll see, and you'll see that throughout fashion, and we'll probably incorporate that into the hair.
So I'm placing heat right in a crease in a valley. So the wave goes there, wave, now I'm allowed to cool. I bend back on that and I allow it to work for me. So I allow that to cool. If I touch this, look at the volume I'm going to get out of that. And if I do this, there's Brigitte Bardot. What's so cool about these shapes is the sense of looseness and the sense of versatility that they have. Off you go, girls. Turn it up.
En stor applåd för modeller och Sam!
So I'm just going to take a few moments and share with you the techniques that we use to create the colors on both the girls. On this color right here, the base, she was a natural level 7. We went in with the copper golds. I think right now that redheads are definitely coming back into fashion. Everything has been either very brown or very blonde for the last couple of seasons. What lives in between brown and blonde is redheads. So for her base color, we went in with Color Fusion. This right here, Zone 1, 8GG, 20 volume. The ends was 8CG and 30 volume. So we went a little bit warmer and a little bit brighter for the ends. We did that base all over, processed her for 35 minutes, and then created this dimension with what we call a block section. By working with a block section, meaning it's a shape that we're placing on the head. On this particular one, the shape is like a saber tooth. So if you think of like the prehistoric tiger that had the long curved tooth, it's that type of section. So we placed it on top of her part. So you see we're strategically placing this color instead of putting it everywhere. We're putting it exactly where we want it. So there's a little bit more of a thought process to how you place these colors. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. And then once you go into the placement, you're just kind of working through it. So I'll just get a kind of rough sketch of this in. The color of choice for this section was up to 7. Our lightener with 20 volume, and then we went in with Shades of Q and did a glaze 09B. Yes, and where I live, that's a completely different color from what it is here, but I love that color. It's a perfect beige. And so it works over the part, curve section, working down to the opposite corner, and then curves back up to the other side. So sort of like a moon section, if you will. So as you can see, these colors, there's no hard lines in this. You see the lightness just kind of comes out from nowhere. So I'm going to place the first point of contact away from the edge of the foil. We don't want to see that strength there. So now we'll clean most of that color off of the brush. Lots of color on the ends. So imagine there's lots of color on the ends. And then turning and blending with this part of the brush, the edge of the bristles, the flat. That's much softer than the tips of the bit. Plus you're covering more space. Also, you want to round and follow the shape of the head. So now I'm just going to blend that color in, and I am going to go right past the edge of the foil. So each subsequent section comes right down onto this foil, and we just continue working past the edge of the foil. I can use a good amount of pressure, clean the color off of that brush, and then blend following the round of the head. You get brighter in the front and a little bit deeper in the back without having to reformulate. So kind of thinking smarter, not harder. So that is this technique. So if you learn something, give her beautiful color a hand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.